Yeah, Hunter keeps changing his story is the next one. 1250, do you want to start with that? The fact that Hunter keeps changing his story?
All right, so the first story that Hunter gave, like basically his story isn't consistent word for word, right? But what is consistent in his story is that Austin grabbed Carmelo backpack or grabbed Carmelo, and Carmelo pulled out a knife and stabbed him, right? Now, if you want to nitpick in his stories, you can nitpick in his stories, and that's what people are doing, and that's what it's coming out. So you get the nitpick, you get the saying, well, he said we, because in one of his stories, Hunter said we asked him to leave, and then Austin stepped up. In the next story, he says, I asked Carmelo Anthony who was he, and then he got to talking reckless, and then that's when Austin stepped up. So he went from we asked him to leave, and then Austin came in to I asked him who he was, and he ain't like it, and he got to talking reckless, and then Austin stepped up. So what is consistent in both of the stories is he and Carmelo at some point had a back and forth, and Austin came in after that. And Austin decided to take it further by either grabbing Carmelo, or that's why I say like it's so many stories. It was he touched him, he grabbed him, he pushed him. Like there is no real consistent one of what actually took place. 100% he grabbed his backpack. The other boy touched him and then he grabbed him for him. The other boy said that he pushed him. So it's like I between them three, I don't know which one it was. Only thing that all of them have consistent is that Austin Metcalf either touched, grabbed, or pushed Carmelo Anthony first.
Okay. By the way,
So
Katie, feel free to go ahead and push it over to another respondent here if his voice is coming in and out. Because yeah, you're kind of in a bad dead zone there. I mean, I think I could make out what you were saying, but it was a little difficult.
Did somebody else want to respond to that?
I'll
The only
say
thing I
this.
was
Go ahead.
oh go ahead. Well, I was gonna say the only thing I would say regarding the Hunter stories. I mean, he just went through a traumatic experience, losing his brother. That first comment he did, I think, was the same day. Like, I'm surprised he could even get a word out. Like, I wouldn't even be able to talk. So I'm sure there's going to be some little differences in what happened as he remembers everything. But that's all I would say on that one. But I don't think there was much of a big difference in any of his stories.
Well, and keep in mind, if you have 6 people describing a traumatic event, you're going to get 6 different variations of what happened. And we saw that with the Michael Brown case. Well, with Michael Brown, we had a whole bunch of people just come out and lied. I mean, and by the way, my next video is going to be about going through the actual eyewitness testimony of the Michael Brown deal. And it's amazing the number of people that will come forward and absolutely lie to the police and to the media to get somebody convicted. And that's where that whole hands up, don't shoot thing came from, was Dorian Johnson lying to the media. Oh, but that's enough. So stay tuned on my channel for that.
Let's stay on topic, Johnny.
What's that? Yeah.
Stay on topic.
Well, and the topic, of course, is eyewitness testimony. You're not going to get the same consistent tellings, even from the same person multiple times. There's going to be issues. The question is the most important facets of their testimony consistent? And with Hunter, I don't see any major, what would you call it, inconsistencies there. For the most part, he pretty much tells the same story each time with minor variations. In court, I don't think the jury is going to care. And by the way, I should mention that an attorney cannot ask a witness to comment on the comments of another witness. So a lot of people think, well, they're going to go to that witness and say, well, this other person said such and such. They're not going to be able to do that.
I think it's kind of a red flag if somebody's story is exactly the same each time. it's kind of a red flag if everything lines up too perfectly, you know?
That's true.
Did you have anything else to say on this topic, 1250?
Yeah, I don't know who think that they can go in court and say that, but I think it will matter to the jury. I think it will matter to the jury because it goes into the line of credibility of a witness. It goes in line to credibility of a witness. So they're going to use that. If Hunter take the stand, they're going to bring up them videos, right? And they're going to try to attack him as far as his credibility of his story. If it doesn't fit what they needed to fit. Just like you said with Kyle Rittenhouse, right?
Mhm.
When they tried to make him say that you wanted to kill him, you wanted to do this, and he kept telling them no, right? I was defending the threat, and they kept trying to, you get what I'm saying, trying to beat it into him to basically confess that that was his intentions. That's where the intent and stuff come in at. But nevertheless, when it comes down to his stories, that's where it comes down to the part about him talking to Carmelo Anthony and him saying we in one, and then the other one saying that he started it by saying whatever, who are you, and him and Carmelo going back and forth. But like I said, when you talk about the key points, whether he said we asked him to leave and then Austin stepped in, or I asked him who he was and we went back and forth, then Austin stepped in. The key factor is Austin stepped in after Hunter got to going back and forth with Carmelo Anthony. And that's what they're going to concentrate on.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just disagree with you whether the jury would place much weight on it.